everybody, welcome to McFarland Minutes, our weekly podcast hosted by Natalie McFarland, me, and founder and president of McFarland Productions, and Scout Foster, our outreach marketing manager. In these episodes, you can expect deleted scenes, in-depth campaign reviews, project highlights, marketing concepts, book reviews, and a deep dive into the creative process at Off Your Rocker Films, and of course, invaluable lessons on mentorship, leadership, and the business of it all. We are so excited to be releasing our episodes every Sunday as your soft launch to Monday. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 23 of McFarland Minutes, your soft launch to Monday. This week, we're talking marketing software and the ones that we see as our absolute goldmine of software. I have a tendency to believe that you can be drowned, or death by subscription, as I usually like to call it. Scout, you said the other day that you try to use as few softwares as possible. I'm on board
I
with
do.
that. Yeah.
Number one, I hate having many tabs open. Like 4 is about my max that I can possibly withstand. I am notorious for like closing out tabs that I'm still working on that I am going to go back to, but I just can't.
I
don't like
can't either.
it gets too small, and then like I don't know which one I'm looking for, and it's a time waster, and it just gets me a little hot,
Yes.
honestly.
I'm here for all of that. I also hate having like so many places to go for like one little nitpicky thing.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate
Drives
that.
me
Well,
nuts.
and that's why I'm like, I would honestly just rather do it the hard way sometimes than having to go to another freaking site or like use this software for this, and then I go over here, and then I go back over here. Like, I would
Yeah.
rather honestly
I really
just do it
have to
myself.
weigh like the benefit of like, okay, how much time is this software really going to save me? Or could I have just done it
Yeah,
the like old school,
old-fashioned.
simplistic, easy way, and then like
Mhm.
use it for another thing. That being said, when a software is necessary and a software functions, it's sometimes like a lifesaver. It can be a game changer and maybe like a whole FTE's worth of people. But
Mhm.
like we're
Yeah,
really saving ourselves some time. But I think that there is a very careful balance between too much and not enough.
I agree.
I
Well,
am notorious for debating on a software for probably an annoying amount of time before, like, I have
I
to
think
think about it at least 4 times in a month before I'm like, okay, maybe I should think about actually looking at this.
yeah, I think for you too, it's a little bit different because you oversee all the things, like all the things we could use software for. So like me, I'm a little bit more narrowed down in the softwares that can help me. So there sometimes I'm like, "Hey, I think like I could really use this software." And you're like, "Okay, put it on the list." And I'm like, "No, I could really use this software."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be asking because like I know how many are on like your list of like maybes, and then I also know how many are on the list that we're paying for every month or quarterly or annually or whatever, and they're freaking expensive.
They
So
are.
like,
Collectively, they get wild.
yeah, yeah. So I get it, and then I also just like selfishly don't want to use that many.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just tired of getting into so many, but no, I mean, sometimes they are worth it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I
there are a
might
few
make
that
you
we have.
justify it to me, but, like, if
Right.
you give me a good justification, I can be convinced. I just have to know that it's really gonna make a difference, you know?
Absolutely. No, you've never really said like I'm not getting that. I think I've pitched 2 and we have those 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't think of one that you were like, "No." I think maybe the other day I talked about like, "Hey, this could be cool." And you're like, "Ah, put it on the list." And I'm like, "Eh, okay, like whatever." But like I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was either. Probably a sign we
But
shouldn't buy that one.
probably, yeah. Like, not that important. But like,
Yeah.
no, I think we have
We could
a
get tooled to death in the
decent.
marketing world,
We could.
especially. Like, dear goodness, there's a lot of
Well, there's
marketing
something for
softwares out
everything
of there.
now.
Yeah. You like just talk about analytics softwares, right? Like the number of analytics softwares that we could pay for any given like piece of this thing, right? We just take
Mhm.
SEO and websites, for example,
I think it
you
was
know.
SEMrush. That's what
Oh,
I
yeah.
I that actually is
Yeah,
worth
which
it,
I
but
do love SEMrush. Like, I think that it is an
yeah,
incredibly powerful tool, but my goodness, like, we could just get
yeah.
tooled to death on it. And there's some great
Mhm.
ones, and there are some ones that, like, maybe I'll use sometimes, you know?
We're using the
But
free version of a lot right
yeah,
now
I mean,
for
honestly,
SEO
like a
stuff.
lot of times, if I can do the free version of it, like it gives me enough to piece together. If I'm really in need of something, if it's really, if it's really going to make a difference in a campaign making or breaking it, absolutely. But let's not just see how many we can buy. That being said, we do have some fantastic softwares that we use because we vet them so hard before we
That really made the cut. Yeah.
we really put them through some tests. And like I've done this with project management software in multiple businesses. I implemented software, project management software at a previous company that I worked for. We tested a bunch of them, used a couple of different CRMs, that kind of thing. But I think we just start going through our list of the ones that we love the most and that we use on a regular basis. You're going to know this one better than me. Cloud Campaign.
Yeah, so Cloud Campaign is our social media scheduler. Um, Never heard of it before, honestly, until I started looking for some new schedulers. I think you actually will know this before I will, but I think we were using possibly the free version of Planoly or maybe like just like the first
I
paid
think we had like
tier.
the first tier of Planoly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is great for light scheduling. Like
I
that
think
has
it's
its
great
place.
for like a one brand situation, right?
Yes.
Like if you
Yes.
are a one man shop silversmith and you need
Mhm.
to expedite your ability to schedule on social media, Planoly is a great option,
Yes.
right?
Yes. So go ahead.
I was just going to say, but
Were you-
Cloud Campaign is a much more robust software.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. And we were having a lot of problems with Planoly failing to post, which that's why we're using a scheduler so we don't have to go in and manually post. So that wasn't really helping anyway. So
Especially
I
weekends and
think about
evenings.
right, like 2 years ago we switched to Cloud Campaign and it has its drawbacks like you have to pre-crop, like you can't crop in the software, which adds another layer of scheduling. So there are a few things that I don't love about it, but overall, insanely quick. You can do like all your photo, you can do video, you can do stories, all scheduled out. You can pull analytics, or you can view analytics and then you can pull a report. So there, it's two different functions. So I actually really like that too because I don't have to pull. Sometimes you just want to go in and like look why something did great on this day. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to pull like the whole monthly report or something. So
Hmm.
it has like different features on both of those. It has like a social listening tool. So you can like look at other
Similar
accounts.
brands.
Yes. You can also plug in like keywords, kind of like Google alerts.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like where if
Hmm.
you like plug in like McFarland Product, every time McFarland Productions is mentioned, we'll get an alert. So you can do that. I haven't worked with that a whole lot because I don't know. I don't. There's a lot of like gray area in it. But it if you can figure it out, like it does do
Yeah.
that.
Google Alerts is
It
also kind of that. Like sometimes we'll get
yeah
like Cletus McFarland. We get
yeah
notifications for stuff Cletus McFarland has done or Seth
yeah
MacFarlane has done frequently. And like
all the
obviously
time.
that's
Yeah.
not us, you know?
So I don't use that a whole lot, but they do have it. They have really great. I know hashtags aren't like a huge thing anymore, but they have like a great foundation and software for hashtags if they ever come back into play, which
I
is
don't
so
know if
likely.
they're
I
like
feel like
dead. I just don't think that they're
I
that
just don't think
useful
they're the
because they've
thing.
added all the metadata stuff.
Hmm.
They
Yeah, I agree
honestly
with
started
you.
doing it the right way.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, but there's just a whole lot of. Also, my favorite part. This is why we switched to it. Like this was my one want. I had a lot of want switching to Cloud Campaign, but like this was the number one. But you can create approval links. So It was me, but now we have Molly, our social media coordinator. We'll go in and do a whole month of content. Um, it will be essentially client ready by the time I look at it. Um, so she'll have about, I would say, like 14 to 18 posts for a month. Um, put it all in an approval link. Email me the link over. I'm able to see all the posts as they are to be posted. And then I can reject. Well, actually, there's not a reject. It's just like approve or you don't approve. So I'm able to approve them. And then if I have edits that I want to see made, I can leave a comment. And she gets notified for those comments. So I don't even usually send an email back like left comments because it notifies you. So
Hmm.
I love that. Like that's just a good way.
It's really
I don't know.
great
Like the
for
communication is
internal
good.
review. Like we do
Yes.
a multi-layer internal review before it ever goes to a
Hmm.
client for review. Not every
Yeah.
client we have does a review of their social. A lot of them will allow us to just run with it and trust
And I
our
love you guys.
process. Yes, we love that.
Yeah.
But also there are some that like inventory moves really quickly, right? And
Hmm.
so for them, being able to go in and approve or tweak certain posts is really critical because what we have today maybe isn't what we're going to have, the day that that thing goes up, and it can cause
Hmm.
some like inquiry issue, right? Where they get a bunch of messages now all of a sudden like, you don't have X product online. Like, why are you posting about it? Valid, you know?
Hmm.
But we don't have direct information on inventory. So when we're posting things, we're basing it off of what we can see, but that's not necessarily all the data. So a client being able to go in, review it and double check it, or if they know something new is coming in and it's going to release on a particular date, we've got, like a new release or a restock or something like that coming. A lot of times they can go through those captions and things like that and just make sure that we're on track. Primarily with
Hmm.
inventory, right? There's other things
Yeah.
too, of course, brand voice and things like that that are clearly looking for as well, or they might know little nuances that we don't know, like, hey, we don't work with this person anymore, let's not use photos from that. That sometimes can happen when we're looking through a giant archive or things like that. So the cloud campaign approval links thing was the selling point for me too, being able to do
Yeah.
that in such a clean,
It's worked great for
easy
us.
way. It's just so
Hmm.
simple and I love it.
Hmm. It also like to go back to paying for all of these subscriptions. There are several that offer those same, I don't know, like those same perks and I don't know,
Features.
like service feature. Thank you. Um, I do think Cloud Campaign is pretty cost effective
Mm.
compared to the others. I've worked with Sprout Social before, and I do think that that is probably like the king, the queen of social schedulers. I think that is a great
HubSpot
one.
too is incredible.
But also, Cloud is doing pretty much all those same things for cheaper,
Mhm. Yeah.
you
And
know?
like
So,
maybe there I mean I certainly think there's something to be said about like how many accounts do you have on there?
yes.
How active is the account? How
How many
heavy
people do
is
you
it?
have?
Right. How many team members are managing the thing? Like
Hmm.
there's certainly other
Right.
factors to consider, but for a team of our size, for the amount of accounts that we're managing, for the type of accounts that we're managing, Cloud Campaign winner for sure.
Yeah. The only downside for me for Cloud is that you can't crop
Yes.
in posting, and you can do that on some of the
Yeah,
others.
it
So like
sometimes doesn't love
it's
LinkedIn. Like, I feel like we have to relink LinkedIn more frequently than the rest,
we do. We
but
do.
it's really
That's
easy to
another thing.
relink, but
It I feel like it stays linked up for a while.
mhm.
Like Planoly, we were having to relink it like every other month, I feel like. And I think
Yeah,
Cloud
and it
really
wouldn't
keeps
send you, like, a notification that it had unlinked, so
it would
you
just
just
stop.
it would just yeah, it'd just be like, "Nah, not today." Um, and so then you'd have to, like, discover it, right? Which was super frustrating, but Cloud
Yeah.
Campaign at least sends you a notification that something got unlinked.
Yeah.
Um, Next software. We have been through a few options on this one, and
Mhm.
gosh, there's a spectrum of not great to okay to you better pay for the paid plan or you're really not getting anything good here. Drip. And I don't feel like this one is well known enough. I feel like this
It
is
is
like a
not.
hidden secret. Drip
I
is doing amazing things.
I still wonder, I'm like, did we get scammed? Like, why are we the only ones that know about Drip? I love Drip. Like, I will fight tooth and nail for Drip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I
I love
will,
it.
and Drip, to be clear, is an email marketing software. I don't think I
Yes.
actually said that, but
Yeah.
we will absolutely try to move to Drip if we at all possibly can with any
Yeah.
client. Like
Yeah.
Drip is the winner in my opinion from a price perspective, from a capability perspective, from an analytics perspective, from a
Yes.
reliability
All of it.
perspective. Drip winner.
The functions, it has great functions. Great analytics.
Mhm.
Um, great.
I
We have
feel
like
like
a
pretty accurate on conversions
I think
too,
it
which
is.
some of them are
It
not.
is. No, I would agree. I have no downfall to using Drip. We actually found it. I don't. Okay, did I'm just gonna say the client did Painted Hills have an email marketing before we
Yeah,
went
they
to Drip?
used Constant Contact. I think it was
Oh my
Constant
god, I do
Contact.
remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Constant Contact has pretty good analytics, but from a design standpoint on their emails, it's horrendous. It's so bad.
I think Constant Contact is great for like a newsletter setup. So like
Yes.
if you are a nonprofit and
Bloggers,
you just
maybe?
yes, and you just need to get like your monthly I don't know, like your monthly updates
Like
out. Like I think
a
it's great
very
for like
newslettery.
it's very like family update to me. And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. It's just we needed to do like workflows and also Drip has I think they have SMS. I'm almost positive they
Yeah.
do. We don't use it for any of our clients, but um Drip just has like the integrations that you can
Need
do
to be
with
able to
it and
integrate with e-commerce when somebody buys a
yes.
particular product and this
Yes.
particular email campaign, drip campaign comes out. Drip. Imagine that. Drip does drip campaigns.
Mhm. Yes.
E-commerce triggered.
Some Yeah, some of my favorite things that we use Drip for, and a lot of the email softwares do allow you to do this. There's an edge that Drip has to
There's
me
a
over all of the
user
others that I've
interface
used.
bonus
Yes.
there. Yeah, Drip makes it easy to do. Not just can do it, does
Um,
it well.
right. Yes. Um, a few of my favorite things that Drip does, or like allows us to do is so we can send emails to people who have viewed a product. They didn't even have to buy it. We can send one to where like they viewed it. We can send it to somebody who lives in this city or this state or I don't know, like there's literally so many different ways that we can like find like narrow down the audience of that who that email should go to. Another thing that you can do is you can have like a segment, like a one you use all the time, but you can also create like a one time segment. So we do that a lot with like cuts. So like I don't know if you've bought bacon in the last 3 months and we just got a new shipment in, we'll send out an email to that one time segment saying like bacon's back, or
Mhm.
sale on bacon or, anything like that. Same with all the other cuts for any like variety of reasons. It makes it so incredibly easy to talk to the person,
Mhm. You
like,
can do like Drip, you can handle all of your e-commerce notifications. So, like if you're
mhm,
on WooCommerce in particular, right? Their email design from like a hey you like the purchasing emails, right? So like order
mhm,
confirmation, shipment confirmation, those sorts of things.
yep,
They're fine, they function. But if you want to take it to the next level and you actually want it to be branded for your company, doesn't have a whole ton of availability to design that in a way that's useful, right? So, like,
yeah,
maybe if we're talking about Painted Hills natural beef, maybe we also include a recipe that is, or a link to a recipe that's related to the product that you bought, right? You can't do that
Mhm.
using WooCommerce's kind of standard email notification system
Mhm.
on their sort of typical purchasing things. You can move all of your e-commerce notifications to Drip and let Drip handle those,
Mhm.
where you're able to design those in a useful way, right? Like, why not allow an order confirmation to also be useful to the client, right? To the customer.
Right. Like send a recipe or, like
Right,
send some value added type thing.
right.
I don't know. I 100% agree, and I'm probably a little biased because like I love email marketing. Which though also maybe I'm not biased because I love it so much. Like I want it to be useful and I want it to be like something I enjoy using. I do it enough to where it needs to work,
Yeah,
you know?
I do love email marketing. Like, you very much own that list, and I think we have actually a whole episode planned out to talk about email marketing specifically, so we don't need to go too far
Yes.
into it. But
And I'll babble.
yeah, if you're gonna do email marketing, like, Drip is a dang powerful tool. I think you
Mhm.
can get a long ways on that. The website side. This is not something that Scout deals in a whole lot, which lucky her. But the worst thing is, it's Black Friday or Black Friday's tomorrow, right? Or we just released a new campaign or we just sent out a really great email that's pushing, orders before we close down shipping in a particular zone because of heat, because it's a perishable item, or whatever the thing
Mhm.
is, right? Let's say you put out an ad or something. You're doing something that is driving traffic to the website. The most
Mhm.
obnoxious, most detrimental thing that can happen is your website to crash when you're pushing people there, right? It sucks to have a website crash at any time, right? Like that is a horrible emergency sort of thing. It's worse when you're in the middle of a campaign, like a push campaign, right?
Mhm.
We've used a plethora of hosts and we still use a couple. We use Cloudways and we use Kinsta. Those are our two primary ones, but I've used Bluehost, I've used GoDaddy, I've used I can't even list them all. There's probably 20 of them that I've used over time from a website hosting perspective. This is specific to WordPress sites. I have not found a host that is more reliable, more responsive, or has better customer service than Kinsta. The amount of times that Kinsta has assisted me with an issue that's not really theirs, but they have enough visibility to be able to help me get to a solution faster, they are winning at the game of customer service. And let me tell you that when you're in the middle of a panic moment because your website went down and you can't figure out where it's coming from and it's got to be up right now, their backup systems and their customer service are the best piece. Like they win every time for me, and I will die on that hill, right? There's going to be a whole lot of developers out there that are like, oh, I like this system or that system or whatever it is. Again, I'm talking about WordPress, not Shopify is its own host and its own platform. There's a bunch of different platforms that you can use, right? Drupal, the whole thing. But for WordPress sites, which is our typical bread and butter when we're working with them, for WordPress sites, Kinsta is going to win every single time in my book. And the number of times that Kinsta has saved the day when something went down, and the few number of times, the extreme few number of times that it was Kinsta's like system failure, right? Like I'm talking like large blackout failure is significantly low. Like I can think of maybe one time that Kinsta has had a major problem since we've been utilizing them. That is not the case for any other host that I've utilized. Cloudway's pretty darn good. They're really flexible. What I like about them is they have like a scaling approach. So if you're like an event and you've got certain times a year where your traffic's really, really high and other times a year where pretty much no one visits the website, it will scale automatically for you so that you're only being charged more when you have more traffic. So it can kind of like move with you a little bit. I really like Cloudways for that perspective. It works really good. It's pretty reliable, and it's very developer friendly, from Cloudways perspective, but I'm still going to put Kinsta first, then Cloudways. And probably Daniel, our developer, is going to argue with me on that order, but I'm just telling you that Kinsta has saved us a lot of times. The ones that haven't are like GoDaddy. this is my recommendation. If you've ever touched GoDaddy.com, to get out of it, get away from it, and
You
run.
might be entitled to compensation.
Yes, I wish. The amount
Like,
of hours I've
are they
wasted
even
with
a thing
GoDaddy.
anymore?
Yes, they are, and they buy a lot of companies. They do a lot of acquisitions. They're a little bit like
Mhm,
QuickBooks in that, like, they kinda buy stuff up,
mhm.
and they're kinda tough to get away from, but man,
Oh,
don't use them as a registrar, don't use them as a host, and I don't usually say don't use a particular product, but that is one that I will absolutely say don't use. That is maybe you're probably gonna get me to say, "Don't use that tool or that company." This might be the only time you hear me say it in a podcast. Um, anyway, Kinsta, Cloudways, those 2 are great. Kinsta's gonna be my number 1 pick. Cloudways, Daniel's probably gonna fight to say is his number 1 pick, but I'm telling you, Kinsta's bar none best customer service of any hosting company I've ever used. Um, Next topic. We run on Google.
yeah, I said I'm a Google gal the other day.
Google gal, that's what it
Yeah,
was. We are Google gals, and
we
guys,
are.
'cause we have more than just gals in our company, but,
Mhm,
Google Workspace, everything is run on Google, right? We've
mhm.
got our emails on Google, we use Google Docs, we use Google Sheets, we use Google Drive, we use Gemini, we use
Gemini?
all of them, right? Like, we are in it to win it when it comes to Google
Mhm.
Workspace, and I love it because, I think a lot of people have, like, Gmail accounts, and that's same system, right? But Google Workspace is the professional version of that, right? So we're able
Mhm.
to white label. So even though you see at McFarlandProductions.com, we are a Google hosted email service, right? So our domain is connected to Google Workspace, making us a white labeled email service. So Google Workspace is our functioning body, and we use it for everything.
Yeah.
The ability to collaborative work on documents, or like tag or assign or like chat, Google Chat we use relentlessly. Google Meet is our jam. I just there's not another thing. Please, like,
I
don't
realize
take me anywhere else, you know?
don't make me do Microsoft Teams.
No.
I don't
Don't
want it.
not even the Microsoft environment, not OneDrive. Keep me off of Dropbox. Hate it.
Oh, is that
I
like
said one
Microsoft?
time, I said one thing that I was ever gonna say don't use. I'm gonna also put Dropbox in that category.
Okay, I actually don't hate Dropbox for like a photo storage perspective. You
If
know,
you're
like
using
putting
it for your own files, but the second you need to share it, it's obnoxious the way it handles sharing.
I think that's the whole Microsoft thing.
Yeah.
Microsoft is not very, and maybe it's because we're used to Google. I don't know. Like maybe the Microsoft people feel that way about. I
I
don't
feel
think they
like
do.
there's some like SharePoint seems to work pretty well for teams internally. I think
I
it works
actually
pretty
don't
well.
like that.
I don't think it works when you're sharing it outside your organization, right? So if you
Yeah.
have an agency or a contractor or something that's working with you, it's kind of tough to do that. Like, it'll do it kinda, but it's not real happy about it.
Also, can we talk about like just like how sterile Microsoft is?
Yeah, yeah. If we're
You
gonna
know what I
talk about
mean?
graphics, Google's winning.
Yeah, it just feels so like I don't know, doctor like so serious doctor's officey, you know?
Yeah.
Like crack a smile or
That's
something,
that's
you know?
probably the creatives in us, you know?
Maybe, but it just if it doesn't feel very welcoming, it doesn't make me want to use it.
Have you seen, the reels that are going around right now where people are, like, acting as if they are Microsoft Excel?
Yeah, no, that's funny though.
It's really good. Like, they're just so brutally dry, and, like, some of them will be, like, Excel versus Google Sheets or whatever, or some of them will just be Excel, and, like, they basically, they're just, like, really, really, really dry, and it's very funny, but it's really well done. If you really wanna get nerdy
Wow.
with the Instagram reels, look up the Excel reels. They're pretty
Maybe
great.
maybe we'll get a blended one,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you
Now
know?
now that we've got that blended feed deal.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, next one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let this send you, Scout. ClickUp.
Is it ClickUp? I hate ClickUp. I hate it
Okay,
so
but
much.
why do you hate ClickUp?
Because I want to do this.
That's the
And I can just be
problem.
like,
You are the problem.
tell me how many things I missed, though.
I can't see it. Oh.
Not very many.
Right. But let's be real. We're all running around in 50 different directions. Kevin is doing the communication with the client. We are a lot of times collaborating on projects. I can't collaborate on your notepad, but I can collaborate
I don't
on
want you to.
ClickUp. But when
I
we're
don't
working
want.
together, okay, we're going to have a
Yeah, no,
difference
I
of
know what
opinion here. But
we
like,
do. We always do.
yeah,
But to be fair, like your projects change all the time. Mine don't. I know the calendar.
yeah.
Like very rarely do I have projects. I don't want to say very rarely, but like
Your
okay,
projects
to
are pretty like ongoing repetitive for the most part.
right. So when I get stuff in ClickUp, I'm like, this is too noisy for me. Like I know what I'm doing. I'm steady on it. I know the date by heart of when
Mhm.
it's due. But I understand not everybody's position is like mine, and you do need a project management software. I just know, like, on the 12th of every month, content is due internally. Hopefully, by like the 15th, 18th of every month, that's going to the client. Now, I will say sometimes it's like the 20th or so. So
We
the
try
client's
really hard
listening.
not to do that.
We try really hard, okay? It's not because of ClickUp, though. It's just because we're still working on the edits. I know our email clients have a email that go out on the 1st and 15th, all of them.
Yeah.
And then I
And
have
in
other
that
emails in there.
case, it totally makes sense to me to not use ClickUp. But in any
Right.
case where you are working on a concerted campaign or you're working on a
Yes.
specific project or something like that,
Yes.
you have to know where you're allocating your resources.
You do.
I love the Gantt charting software or a Gantt charting piece of
You
ClickUp.
love it so much.
Yeah, because I can see I can see a visual representation. I'm a visual person, right? Like I can see a visual representation of how overloaded I'm making somebody, right? Like did I just come up with an unreasonable timeline? And how
Okay,
can I
this is
fix that?
actually a great topic because half the things I do are not in ClickUp.
Yes.
So does it look like I'm doing nothing? I bet it
It
does.
does kind of, yeah.
It does. It
But
looks like I'm
like
doing nothing.
I know what you have going on, right? So
Right.
like if I can compare, okay, here's our projects that Scout needs tasks on, or Molly needs tasks on, or Natalie needs tasks on, or our editor or developer, whoever it is, right? Kevin. um,
Evan?
if I can look at it and say, okay, this person needs to be involved in these 5 projects and they're all culminating at the same time,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a problem, right? I don't want to let a client down because we didn't know workload issues, right? So as a project
Mhm.
manager, which is really Kevin, not me, but I come from a project management background. I am a project management nerd. I could
You're a
literally make
project
it.
manager by heart.
Oh
Like,
man, I could
yeah,
literally
you love it.
if I didn't do McFarland Productions, I might be a consulting project manager to help companies implement project management software and project managers in their company. Like I have a huge
That would be my worst nightmare.
I freaking love it. I love every minute of it because I know that it makes everybody's lives easier when we can figure out where we're allocating stuff well.
Not
If you're
mine.
doing it well.
Do you know what this actually will send me? Like, straight up, I've had to, like, talk myself out of being annoyed at stuff. But, like, I'll get the ClickUp notification, and I'm like, I already freaking did it. Like,
Did you
I
check
already
it
did it.
off?
No, I have so many things that say overdue because I just don't check it off. I already know to do it. I didn't need your reminder. Thank you. Um,
But
no,
like
but like
maybe those
I
don't
do
belong in
things.
ClickUp, right? Like if it's something that
Right.
you're doing on a regular basis, maybe it doesn't belong in ClickUp, right? But
Okay, things that like okay, I think it's just the nature of my position of why I hate ClickUp so much because there are things that I'm like, shit, put that in ClickUp, I'm gonna forget it. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like, I'm never gonna. Okay, like our new project with Montana Silversmith.
mhm.
Smith S? I think
Smiths.
there's an S.
There is.
Yeah.
There's more than one
Um,
silversmith.
yeah. Well, sometimes you never know on
Get it right.
um, but like our new project with them. That's like a pretty deadline heavy
Very deadline heavy.
um project that I don't usually do.
Right.
I mean, we will
That's a
start
once
doing
a
it.
quarter thing, right?
Yes,
It's a lot more
I will
difficult to
forget.
track timelines on. It
Yeah.
also doesn't start until they say go for this, which,
Mhm.
is the
Yeah.
nature of this type of project that we
Yeah.
don't need to disclose exactly what we're doing. But,
Right.
when they say go, now we have a timeline, but when the go happens is not like the first day of every quarter, right? It's not like that.
Right.
It's like the day that
Right.
they're able to hand us the thing that allows us to go.
Yeah.
So that is a very deadline heavy thing. Will really change your life from a project manager perspective, particularly if you're having trouble like allocating workload or tracking timelines or bringing projects in on time. ClickUp is going to change the world from that perspective. And I've used every project management software out there. I might be a little bit exaggerating. I can't say 100%, but I would not be afraid to say 95%. I've used them all. So like I ClickUp's a winner. It's the most flexible for any company. You can set it up where it fits. A lot of times you get into a project management software and it's like really made for this industry or really made for that industry. And it's really difficult to adapt to your own business. ClickUp is not like that at all. Very adaptable. Could be used in any industry. Next one, sort of related. Scout, you don't work in this one much either, but this is really more of a contract side, Dubsado. We've been using Dubsado since 2018. I really love Dubsado for a lot of reasons. They do have a project management sort of system within it, from like the tasking perspective, but it's very not advanced tasking. Like you can't do subtasking and that sort of thing. It's just not at the level that we need it to be from a task perspective, which is why we don't use only Dubsado. That being said, ClickUp doesn't do any contracts or invoicing or automated invoice reminders or online payments or anything like that. So those two married together are really what make the project management software to me. Um, Someday I'm gonna get a wild hair and maybe make enough money that I can just dump a ton of money into building a software that is all of those things all in one place. Because when I tell you that it is so nice to have your contracts, your invoicing, and your tasking all in one place, that is a game changer because sometimes you can't proceed until you've been paid at a certain percentage, right? So like maybe X percent is due up front, so you can't start until you're paid for that. Maybe X percent is due at a certain stage of the project. Well, you shouldn't proceed past it unless you've been paid there. The hard thing with that is a lot of times the person who's managing the contract is not the person who's doing the task. So if they can't see that we've been paid, they or like easily in one system see that we can be paid, that we've been paid, sometimes they move on and they shouldn't have moved on yet because we haven't received payment, right? So
Mhm.
that integration between the two is the main thing. I think both of those things are missing. The best solution that we have found is to marry the two, Dubsado, ClickUp together. Dubsado does a great job of contracting, online signatures, like digital signatures for contracts, invoicing, automated invoicing, reoccurring invoicing, invoice reminders, all of those things Dubsado does a wonderful job at. Wouldn't trade it. Um, this one's fun because we're on it right now. Descript.
Yeah, I feel like you have like more hands-on working in it, but I do like it because for me, it does create all the show notes and
Mm-hmm.
we go in and heavily edit them because AI does weird things sometimes, but so efficient for that. It'll do your description, it'll do social post, it does like a full blog based on everything that we talk about in the podcast. Another thing that it does, which you can probably talk more about this, but for me, like just overseeing socials, it pulls like the most likely to succeed, like little social clips, little
Yeah.
reels.
It reads like what's trending on social and like pulls clips that it thinks will likely perform based on other clips on social that have performed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's super nice. What I love about Descript is the editor. The editor is can be really advanced, or you can use it in a really simple way, right? So if you've got like a pretty clean edit, easy to just like crop a couple of things off, throw wrappers on the end, and that's the end of it, great. If you want to color correct and audio correct and change like get rid of any gaps, right? So like a few seconds ago, you won't even see this in the finished edit, but a few seconds ago my camera shut off, right? Because it got a little overheated. We've been podcasting for a minute here today. um, but we can clip that out so quickly, right? Like I'm talking seconds. Whereas if we were
Okay,
doing
but
this,
what do you think about like somebody who's never used it?
oh,
Because you're a video editor,
so
like you
easy.
do this for a living.
So easy. So, like, okay, let's say I said, hey, Molly, make sure you cut this piece. Also, Molly, don't actually cut this piece. This is an example that I'm using. But hey, if I said, like, hey, Molly, cut this piece, she can literally go in because she's doing our edits on our podcast. She can go in, search Control F, search cut, and then it will bring up all the spots in there that I said or anyone said the word cut, right? And she can click on that spot literally in the transcript, in the text. She clicks it just like you're in a Word document. She can push the space bar and it'll play. She can double check it's a piece that she actually wants to cut out. Sorry for the number of times I'm saying that word, Molly. And then she literally just highlights it. Like you're going to delete something out of a Word document, right? Like maybe you want to delete a whole paragraph. You just highlight the whole paragraph and push the delete button. That's the end of it. Slaps it
Oh, dang!
together
So it
and that's the
literally is
end.
like what?
It's
I
like
didn't know that.
editing a Word document.
A Word
So
doc.
for someone who is not a video editor, ridiculously easy to use.
Okay, that's good.
I have heard from most people that when they hire a podcast editor, sorry, podcast editors, you're going to hate me for pitching this tool so hard, but maybe you won't. Maybe you'll love this tool because it'll actually save you time and you can actually increase your margins on your edits here. But I have heard that most podcast editors spend anywhere from 6 to 8 hours editing a single podcast, right?
One episode?
One episode. It takes me 30 minutes to edit a podcast episode for one of ours. 30 minutes.
That is
That's
easy, dang.
that's editing the podcast. That's color, audio, mixing, making sure that the multicam's working where you're only seeing the active speaker. That's pulling social clips using their AI. That's pulling all of their suggested copy using their AI. And that's exporting all of it in video and audio. 30 minutes.
Dang.
That is a huge difference. That's a 12th of the amount of time minimum. So maybe like, okay, we're certainly going to expand upon that, right? I don't spend a whole lot of times fixing the captions, the closed captioning on this. That could be done better, but still, I'm thinking an hour.
I think it's pretty accurate though.
It does a pretty good job. It does some funny things, like if I say off your rocker films, it's
It
going to
does
put
do,
some
yeah.
crazy text. I hope it has crazy text right here, right now. Molly, don't fix that one. Anyway, like it'll have some like crazy things that come up sometimes with like certain things, but because it's like trying to make sense of what you said.
Yeah,
But it maybe doesn't understand names, but like Florabama was one that
it
would come up
did.
kind of funny sometimes, so we had to fix that in a few of them. But it is pretty good with the exception of stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um
Which I
s-
feel like that even like voice to text, it's not
yes.
gonna get Floribama,
Yeah.
you know?
It does better than my voice to text on my phone.
Mine too, yeah.
Um,
'Cause I would only know that because you just said that you don't spend a lot of time
yeah.
editing
I
the
pick
closed
out like
caption.
the high level things, but Molly's gonna
Mhm,
spend a little bit more time. We'll put an hour per episode, so we're still at a sixth of
mhm.
the amount of time. Anyway, Descript, we've been using it for all of these episodes. This is episode 23, so we're pretty happy. If we've done
And
it.
we've recorded a few episodes before this, so this might we might be over 23 recordings,
Yes, that's true.
you know?
We also, like, the other thing that's cool that it can do is you don't have to record through the software. I can import video from like for Floribama's episode, for example. I don't remember what number that is, but for that example, we recorded that on our regular cameras there on site, and then I imported that video to Descript, and I edited it on the Descript timeline. I did not do that in Premiere, which normally I would pull it into
Oh,
Premiere,
nice.
edit it all.
Yeah,
So, like, we were able to just pull it straight into Descript and do it that way. It's way faster, way
that's nice.
faster than trying to do it through Premiere Pro. And Premiere
Mhm.
Pro has some pretty good, AI tools from like the auto transcribing and things like that too. But the speed of Descript is going to win every time. And honestly, there's 100 ways you could use Descript that is not just podcasting. I think you could
Mhm.
utilize this, as an editor. If you're like a smaller company and you're not a video editor, you could use this to edit your social clips. I think,
Yeah. Dang.
yeah, I think Descript could do a really good job for a lot of things, but we use it for podcasting primarily. Um, Adobe. We all use this. We all live in
We do.
this.
Yep. Do you primarily
Yeah, for like the heavy
use
hitting
it?
softwares, but
Yeah.
you'll still use Express quite a bit. I don't use
Yep.
Express like at all. That's really more
Yeah.
your
Well,
wheelhouse.
that's because you use the other one, the bigger the big guns.
Yeah, yeah. We
Um,
use we
but
use
I
all of
will
them though.
say, yeah, I will say Adobe Express has a lot of capabilities, and it's honestly just presented in a more user-friendly manner. Um, I don't know for sure, like if it is every single Photoshop and um, like
Like
InDesign and
every one of their
Lightroom, like all
softwares.
of them. Yeah, what's the other one? Illustrator.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's like all of those, but it gives a pretty well-rounded lot, like very solid number of features in Express.
Mhm.
Very comparable to Canva, which if you're paying for Canva and paying for Adobe Creative Cloud, what is it?
Creative Suite.
Creative Cloud Suite. Okay. Um, I feel like it should be
Maybe
cloud
it's
because like
cloud.
everything is
I
cloud.
don't know. I feel like the name's changed a couple times maybe, and that's why it's confusing.
Okay. Adobe. If you're already paying for a full Adobe subscription, you're paying for Express, right?
Mhm.
Like on the highest
If you're
level.
paying for the full seat, if you're paying for
Yes.
all apps, you're already paying for Express.
So you might as well cut your Canva like your Canva
Yeah. If you're
cost.
not
And
if you're not paying for Adobe Suite, like let's say you're not going to do heavy video editing and that kind of thing,
mhm,
Canva valid platform, right? Like
yes,
I
yes,
I do like Canva, but if
yes.
you're
Do
basically already
you?
paying for it. I mean, I do. I
Yeah.
think I think it has a really I don't like to use it personally because
Mhm.
I know too much. Probably.
Right.
Like I want the full control like I can get out of the Adobe programs, like the full programs,
Mhm.
but or full softwares, but for somebody who is like maybe not a designer or not an editor,
I
Canva is a
think
great
like
option.
social posts for any like for digital things, valid. If we're going like if you're paying money to run an ad, don't use Express or Canva.
No,
Like that needs to
pay a
be like
designer.
right.
Yeah.
But like for like social stories or I don't know, maybe you need to add some text to like your blog header or something like that. Like, um, yes, Canva, Express, they're incredibly similar. I feel like to me, I've used both, but most recently Express. I do feel like you have a little bit more control in Express than you do in Canva.
I think they did a good job
But
of
I'm
including some of their like full software tools in
yes, I
Express.
agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it, and you can set up different brands. So like, McFarland Productions has a whole like digital brand book in it's like in it. So like our colors in there, our fonts are in there, our logos are in there, like all variations. Our animated logo is in there for all of our clients, which Canva does allow you to do, but I do like the presentation of it a little bit better in Express. It's
User
just a little bit
interface.
more, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a big one for me.
Yeah.
Just what it looks like and
Ad-
feels like.
Adobe has Adobe's a little bit like buying into the Mac or like whatever Apple
Drinking
interface,
the
right?
Kool-Aid.
It is a little, yeah, like it's honestly a pet peeve for me, and we're not doing Apple versus Android here, Scout, so just hold it. But because we could really get into it, but
That
like
will be a different episode.
Android or like Apple and Adobe are similar in that they have created themselves like a universe, right? And I guess
Mhm.
Google's done the same thing. That's why we like Google Workspace, I guess. But so I don't love that about Adobe. I don't love that it doesn't integrate well with third-party plugins. I don't love that kind of thing. But if you're gonna buy the Creative Cloud, which gets you, all the design softwares, all the video softwares, all After Effects, the number of programs you get or softwares that you get through
But
that is a
honestly, it's
lot.
like one software and you get like 25 things.
Yeah, yeah. So
It's
like
you know what I
from
mean?
from the Adobe perspective, like that is the win, right? Like you have so many options from audio editing to video editing to graphics to logo design to vector design,
Mhm.
everything you can think of creative wise you can handle within Adobe for the most part. That being said, we don't only stick to Adobe Premiere Pro for video editing. We do use it a lot, but not for everything, because DaVinci Resolve wins the game when it comes to color editing. It's a winner. Their ability to handle color edits, like we use Blackmagic RAWs, so that also is a really big win because DaVinci is software created for Blackmagic.
Can
So
you
it
use other if you shot on a Canon, can you put it in
Mhm.
DaVinci?
Yeah.
Okay, so
So we
it was created for Blackmagic, but
yeah. So you can bring
it
Blackmagic into
accepts.
Premiere Pro. Um, you can use the sidecar plugin in Premiere Pro for Blackmagic to be able to better edit Blackmagic files because they have their own raw logic. Just like Red has a raw logic and all of that. But we use a wide variety of cameras. We have Sony's, that's actually what I'm filming on right now. We have GoPros, we have drones, we have Canons, a couple of different kinds. We have Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras. Um, I'm sure I've missed some, right? Like we've got a wide variety. That means all of those have a different color logic. All of those have a different raw logic if they have raw logic. Not all of them do. Um, but DaVinci does a really, really, really powerful job. So DaVinci Resolve does a really nice job of color editing across all camera options, right? And a lot of times we're using them all on a single project, or maybe not all of them, but a combination of them on a single project. So being able to color and feel match is really critical when you're trying to put together a piece, all like one long piece.
Mhm.
So DaVinci, winner at that. It's also got a really great interviews from the timeline. I just can't say enough good things about DaVinci Resolve. There's a free version or a paid version. Honestly, the free version is pretty badass. Like I'm a fan. Like they've done a really good job.
Ooh, I love
There's
that.
also like Final
I love a
Cut
good free
Pro.
version.
Yeah, I mean, I've used Final Cut Pro. I've used a bunch of them, but I'd say like DaVinci is probably my top video editor. Second is probably Premiere Pro because it's within our Adobe interface. Anyway, DaVinci Resolve winner. Last one on my list,
Mm,
ChatGPT, and this is gonna be a
this
little
is controversial.
controversial.
I honestly don't know if it is anymore. I feel like people are coming around to it. Honestly, it's not going anywhere.
No. And
Why would you
we don't use it to do our job for us. We use it to speed up the process of doing our job, right? So
or to do our job better?
you're never gonna see any copy, any imagery, anything that we generated in ChatGPT. That's never going to be the final product, right? Like
Right.
we're literally just going to utilize it. Like sometimes it's for brainstorming, sometimes it's
Mhm.
for pre-writing, sometimes it's for
Mhm.
formatting. Sometimes it's just for a list of ideas, right?
Right.
So like we use ChatGPT in a lot of different ways. I broke down and paid for it.
Did you?
I broke down and paid for it. Yeah. So
Wow.
we have one seat of the paid version. And I do think that the paid version is better than the free version by a pretty
Okay,
significant margin beyond
what do
memory
you get?
storage. You get I don't know exactly, I'm not gonna get into, like, all the terms exactly, right? But I know that you get access to, like, a better version of their AI thought software. Like, you know how
Yeah,
there's, like,
like
multiple kinds of it? I don't know it
mhm.
well enough to I sound like an idiot right now because I don't know it well enough to know exactly which ones you get and don't get or, like, how much of it or whatever. Um
And you get more uploads.
Yeah, you get more like, you get more memory, you can run it more
Yeah.
in a single day,
Mhm.
but it's, like, beyond that, it's, like, more accurate, more reliable, when you
Right.
pay
Oh,
for it.
okay.
So, um, I've really liked the paid version of ChatGPT, and again, like, we're not using it to full on produce something, but we are using it to speed up the process, which I think
Okay,
at this point, if you're a company not using it,
you're falling behind,
you're
or
costing
you will.
yourself money. You're costing yourself money.
Yeah. I think honestly too, like something you have to consider. You cannot use ChatGPT to do all of your marketing for you because then everybody will have the same exact marketing. Like you have to use it as an idea. Like if you are using ChatGPT as your marketing department, you are failing. But if you are not using ChatGPT in your marketing department, you are also failing. And
Mhm.
like I'll just be the one to say like the radical, very extreme things. But like I don't know if I think I don't use it enough to pay for the like upgraded version.
Mhm.
Um, but like it does so much like that used to take me days to do. You know what I mean? Like it can review data. Like it will okay, based on this data, like what are your suggestions? And I'm like, damn, that is smart.
Yeah, it's really good
I
at it's really fast at analytics. So, like,
I
if you
and that
feed
is
it
like
some
not my
data
strong
and
suit.
you say, "Hey, will
Yes.
you aggregate this?" Like, it aggregates it, and then
Yeah.
you say, "Okay, what are
In
the"
like a
based on
minute.
statistics, yeah, based on statistics and these data sets, what
Yes.
do you suggest? And then we consider those, right? We don't
Sometimes they
we're not
suck.
using it as our brain, but we
No.
are
I
using
think
it for
something
maybe
that
things we didn't think of.
is important is I actually think like AI was like wrongfully named. I don't think it's artificial intelligence. Like I am intelligent. I don't need anything artificial to help me with that like or tell me that like we both have brains. We use them very effectively. I honestly think it should have been like artificial efficiency or something like
Yeah.
that. Like it should have it I think and I actually think that is the hang up for most people is that they think of AI as doing replacing the human. And it can. I understand like it not that it can, but like it if you're a small business using ChatGPT as your marketing department, I get it. I know that you are. I can see that and most people who do any form of AI work know that too. Like it's very obvious what comes from copy paste AI than just ideas that come out of AI.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I was a little
Sometimes the thing
ping
that I'll
pong
do
ball there, but
too
like,
is like Scout is an incredible writer. I sometimes have a stroke of genius, but most of the time my writing is not really that creative or that I don't know, maybe streamlined is a good word. So sometimes what I'll do is like if I'm writing a post or something, if I'm writing anything, let's just say I'm writing a paragraph or something, right? Telling a story usually on something. Sometimes
mhm,
I'll run it through ChatGPT and just say like, "Hey, can you clean this up?" Right? So
I
it'll
do that too.
it'll read
Yeah.
my writing and then it will like rewrite it based on its and I take some of its suggestions and some of it I don't, but it will help me like restructure my writing so that it's
Mhm,
the most followable when someone is
mhm.
reading it, right? Sometimes I think I'm being cute at my writing and it's actually just confusing. So
I think that's everybody. That's all creatives. Sometimes you're like, "Ah." Kevin's actually probably the worst at that, and he probably can't hear me right now, but, like, sometimes I'll come up with something, like, real good. I'm like, I am high on this, like, I love this, and he's like, "I don't know what you quite mean here," and I'm like, "Read it again."
yeah, Kevin is like a really good like censor for that kind of stuff, because
Mhm.
Kevin really likes Kevin's background is in biological sciences, right? So Kevin's really used to reading like step 1 through 8 type writing, like very like straightforward writing. And
It's not
so
what we do.
right, which like creative writing is a lot of times not. But if the person who is used to reading the step 1 through 8 type of writing cannot understand the creative writing, we've gone too
Yeah.
far, right?
Yeah.
Like we've gone too
Yeah.
artsy and we've not thought enough about like clear communication. So like it's really actually good to run it through them. Sometimes frustrating when we
It
get a
it
little
absolutely is,
married
but
to an
sometimes I'm
idea.
like,
But
I knew I shouldn't have run this by you. I'm like, but also like sometimes I'll be like, okay, maybe you don't understand, but like I'll run it by you and you're like, I'm tracking. Or I'll run it by Lane and he's like, yeah, I get what you're saying. Or just like somebody completely, I don't know, like irrelevant. And sometimes it's a Kevin problem and sometimes it isn't, like sometimes I would say a lot of times he has a very valid
yeah.
point. But I'm like, AI approved this. And
AI.
you're the one that's, putting your foot down. No, I literally just brought that up because we were saying how like AI will help us like fine tune our writing, but
Yeah.
no, I
Maybe
think
Kevin is our
yeah.
AI,
Kevin K Dog. Others
K-Dog.
would say that.
Cool. Be a number of the funny things I want to bring up right now that we're
I know.
gonna embarrass Kevin. We won't do that.
Yeah, it's okay.
um,
We do love Kevin.
we do love Kevin. Kevin does a great job at keeping our creative selves a little bit more in touch with
Tame.
reality sometimes,
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
And we need that. We need a Kevin.
Mhm.
Anyway, that was the end of my list. Any other softwares that we missed that you were thinking of as we were talking?
I'm trying to think of like what I again like I try to keep them so to a minimum. Like every day I'm in Google Workspace. Drip, Cloud Campaign. Those are ones I frequent a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Express. I think we've honestly hit everything.
I think so
The
too.
only thing that we didn't really say is like, I mean, I guess we did. We talked about WordPress. Um, a few other, I wouldn't consider them softwares, but I do like
Oh
answerthepublic.com,
yeah.
I think. That's a really
SEMrush,
good thing.
Google
Yeah.
Analytics, that's kind of Google
Um,
Workspacey.
yeah. Yeah. But I do like all of those for like SEO and website things.
Mm-hmm. SiteKit's
Um,
really good.
But like I don't have a whole lot, I guess,
Yeah.
to add on those. I do occasionally use those for blogging and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think what we'll do is for the softwares that we've mentioned that we have some affiliate link slash discount codes that we can share with you. We'll drop those in the show notes. Otherwise, I hope that this helped a little bit from your software deciding on perspective. If you have a software that you absolutely love that maybe we didn't talk about or maybe we haven't considered, I want to know. I like to know about new softwares. And we'll put it through the test. We're pretty good at being picky on that. But anyway, thank you for listening to episode 23. Yep, episode 23 of McFarland Minutes, your soft launch to Monday. We'll see you next time.